The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello everyone. Thank you so much for joining our webinar today, where we will be discussing how simple it is to configure a SIP trunk on an Elastix PBX. Before we begin, I just would like to mention that this webinar will be given in English today. However, for anybody who's interested in hearing this webinar in Spanish, please feel free to reach us at sales@netone.com. And if we have enough requests, we'll go ahead and do this webinar again in Spanish. So my name is Zali Ritholz, and I'm the Director of VoIP Solutions at Netone. And like I mentioned, today we're going to be going over discussing SIP trunking, what it is, and how simple it is to install a SIP trunk in an Elastix PBX. So just to go over the quick agenda of what we'll be doing today, I'll first quickly give a little overview of who is Netone. What our company focuses on. Then I'll discuss what actually is SIP trunking. I'll then go into describing a little bit about Elastix PBX. I'll then actually log into a live Elastix PBX and show you how to configure a SIP trunk. And then we'll go over the reseller opportunity and show you how you actually can make money off of selling SIP trunking. So let's begin. First of all, Netone is actually a subsidiary of IDT. We're a publicly traded company on the New York Stock Exchange. We're actually the largest distributor-based VoIP provider in the world. We carried over 33 billion minutes last year, and we did in excess of $1.5 billion in revenue. We have resellers and partners in over 160 countries, and Netone focuses on the reseller model, the VAR model, where we provide a hosted platform to our resellers who then sell VoIP in all different types of forms, including broadband telephony for residential customers, SIP trunking for business customers, and mobile apps for people on the go. So today we will be discussing SIP trunking, which is actually our new and explosive product that we're offering to our channel. And let's discuss what is SIP trunking. SIP trunking is the ability to offer phone lines to enterprise customers without actually providing physical lines. You can remove all the cost of having dedicated lines coming into a company and giving the ability just to have connections over your existing internet connection that gives you the ability to have unlimited amount of phone lines outbound, as well as have virtual phone numbers from over 40 countries. So just to go over some of the benefits, like I said, there's cost savings. As you know, to run physical phone lines costs a tremendous amount of money and have monthly costs to it. With SIP trunking, we don't need dedicated phone lines. We could use your existing data connection that you're getting from your internet provider to offer SIP trunks and have your phone lines. We also are very flexible in our payment. We don't charge per phone line per concurrent call. We charge per minute. So basically you're paying only for what you use. You don't have to pay monthly fees for those phone lines. SIP trunking is also a very mobile product. You basically could configure a SIP trunk in any IP-enabled product anywhere around the world. So that means you could actually put a SIP trunk in a mobile device. You could put it on a soft phone. You could put it obviously in a PBX, in a IP-enabled hard phone. You could configure a SIP trunk in any device that is SIP compliant. However, obviously the main place you would want to put this into is a PBX that then any person that's connected to that PBX will be able to use it. We also give the ability to be localized in many different countries. We have over 40 different countries of DIDs, virtual phone numbers, that you could use with our SIP trunks. So just to go over some of the target audiences that you'd be focusing on, many of our resellers are already having much support and having much success supporting small businesses, hotels, call centers, large enterprise banks, universities, and many other, anywhere that somebody has a PBX, they could benefit from using our SIP trunking solution. So now quickly to go over what is Elastix. Elastix is a free open source IP PBX, which basically gives you the ability to have all the features of a PBX, but in an easily managed solution using a web browser. You log into the web browser and you're able to create extensions. You could create IVRs, and obviously it gives all the capabilities of extension-to-extension calling and all the different types of things that Elastix, that a regular PBX would be able to provide you. Now, just to note, we are actually compliant with any type of PBX that's IP enabled, that's SIP enabled. We're only calling out Elastix because we are partnering with Elastix in Mexico for their show Elastix World, and we're going out to present over there. So in honor of the show, we want to focus and show Elastix. However, we are compliant with any SIP-enabled PBX, such as Cisco, Avaya, Asterisk, and many other types of PBXs. So if you have those, if your customers have those type of PBXs, we are definitely compliant. You could download Elastix for free by going to this link over here. And once again, it's as simple as just downloading the software, putting it onto any server PBX, server computer, and you could go ahead and do exactly what I'm going to do today. However, please note that by installing it on any computer or server, it will delete all the content that's already existing on that computer. So be careful not to install it unless it's on a computer that you don't mind being completely deleted. So like I said, today's demo, we're going to go into an Elastix PBX that I already installed and configure a SIP trunk and show you how to configure a SIP trunk, create an extension, and do all the steps you need to do to actually start making phone calls. We have simple configuration guides, actually, and I'll show you right now. If you go over here on the web, if you go to our resource page on netophone-siptrunking.com, you'll see that we have configuration guides for Asterisk, for Avaya, Elastix, Cisco, and many other different PBXs. But today we're going to actually go ahead and focus on Elastix. So here's the guide. And I'm going to specifically be using the exact details from here to configure this PBX. So if you're doing this at home or in your office, you could go ahead and pull up this PDF and do the exact steps that I'm doing. So now let's jump into actually configure the Elastix PBX. So here's a brand new Elastix PBX. No configurations have been done yet. We just went ahead and installed it. So the first thing you want to do is go ahead and click on this PBX tab. And we could go ahead and start off by adding an extension because you want to actually create an extension that we could use for, for making calls. So I'm going to use a generic SIP device. There's many options, but we're going to choose generic SIP device. And I'm going to go ahead and make extension 201. This would be the extension number. So if someone was calling extension to extension, you could go ahead and type in, you'll be able to dial this person now on that PBX by dialing 201. Obviously, you could use any number you'd like. Usually 3-digit, 4 digits is the way to go. I'll put my name over here. And there's many other features here that you could program. For example, if you want to set a caller ID specific to this extension, you could put it in here. I could put in a caller ID. I'm going to actually set the caller ID on the trunk level, which I'll show you later. But if you wanted each extension to have their own caller ID when they call out, this is where you'd put it. I'm going to scroll down to secret, and I'm going to type in the password that I want to use for this PBX. I'm sorry, for this extension. Once again, you can put anything you want. I'll put QWERTY123. And as you can see, there's voicemail settings and many other options that Elastix includes. However, for purpose of this webinar, I'm only going to just put the basics, which is what I did. The next thing I'm going to do is actually build the net-to-phone trunk. The trunk is actually a connection that is created between this Elastix PBX and the net-to-phone servers. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Trunks over here on the left. I'm going to click Add SIP Trunk. And now, once I'm done with this, I will have an actual IP connection between the net-to-phone servers, so I could actually be able to send them calls and be able to make and receive calls using that trunk. And as you could see, there's many different other types of connections you could use. They have IAX2 and many other protocols. However, most people use SIP, and that's what net-to-phone uses as well. So I'll go ahead and name my trunk net-to-phone. And over here is where I'll put my outbound caller ID. So anybody who calls over this trunk will use this outbound caller ID. And I'm going to use the virtual phone number that net-to-phone gave me. So I'll go ahead and paste in that phone number. I'm then going to scroll down over here, and I have my outgoing settings. I'm going to choose the trunk name. And for a trunk name, you have to put a unique name. I'm going to call mine N2P-out. You could name it anything you want, but make sure it's unique. It should be something different than what you put trunk name up above. And I'm going to copy and paste my settings that I've already put in Notepad, obviously you could go ahead to this PDF that we had already over here, and it's exactly these same settings. The only difference here is that I put in my account number that Netone provided me for username, I put in the PIN Netone provided me for secret, and I put in the DID that Netone provided me in the from. Besides that, everything here is exactly the same from that PDF. Over here, I'm going to put N2P-in for my inbound settings, and I'm going to copy and paste exactly from that PDF, once again, into the user details, which is meant for inbound settings. And then for my registration string, I'm going to go ahead and once again copy and paste from my Notepad to speed things up. But in reality, all it is I have here my account number, I put a colon, I put the PIN, and I say at ippbx.netafone.com/SIP-trunking. That's all you need to do. So basically, you're copying and pasting everything from this PDF. As you can see, it's exactly the same settings, except for I'm just putting in my account, putting in my PIN, and I'm putting in the virtual number, the DID that Netone provided me. I'm going to go ahead and click Submit Changes. And now I've created a Netone trunk. The next thing I want to do is create an outbound route. What an outbound route is, it tells the PBX when to use which trunk when making outbound calls. Obviously, you could have numerous of trunks, so you need to tell the PBX when to actually use which trunk. So here, I'm going to make a generic outbound route called outbound. And I'm going to scroll down here, and you have to put a dial pattern on what you want to use this trunk for. So to use this outbound route for. So if you scroll over this link right here, you'll be able to see all the different ways of creating an outbound pattern. So let's say if you were dialing an outbound to dial international, you would dial 000 plus country code plus the phone number. So here I could technically write 00X, which is a wildcard. X stands for any number between 0 and 9, and then dot, which means anything that follows, as many numbers that follow. So this would say that any phone number that I dial with 00, and then any number that follows would go over this trunk. However, in this case, I want to make this be a wildcard outbound trunk, meaning any phone number, no matter what I dial, should come over this trunk. So I'm just going to put X and then dot. I'm going to scroll down to here and choose Netone, which is the trunk that we just created, and I'm going to click Submit Changes. So I'm basically saying any phone call, no matter what, that I dial outbound from on this trunk should go over the Netone trunk. The last thing I need to do is build an inbound route. Netone gave me a virtual phone number. So I need to be able to tell Netone where to route that inbound call. If somebody dials that number, where it should go to. This is great because let's say you have many different phone numbers on Netone's trunk. You'd want to be able to define that maybe one phone number should go to one extension, another phone number should go to an IVR, and another phone number should go to a different extension. This gives you the ability to route each phone number. Depending on where it is, it gives you the ability to route it accordingly. So here I'm going to go ahead and copy exactly the phone number that Netone gave me. Now Netone provides phone numbers in the USA dial format. So that means that all numbers that start with country code 1 will be 1 plus the number. Any other phone number would have a 011 and then country code a number. So for example, let's just say I was using I got a UK virtual phone number from Netone. It would be written here 01144 and then whatever the number is. But in this case, I'm using a USA Miami number, so I'm going to paste that number in. I'm going to scroll down to the bottom. I'm going to select the destination. In this case, I'll choose extension, and I will use that 201 extension we created earlier. I'll click Submit. And now I'm going to apply configurations, and this is actually going to make all the configurations that I've done up to now go into effect. And once this reloads, everything will be loaded up, and we'll actually have a PBX that's working. Now, meanwhile, I'm loading up here, as you could see, XLite. XLite is a free soft phone that you could download from the web. It's just one SIP compliant number that you could, it's one SIP compliant soft phone that you could use. Obviously, you could be doing the same exact thing in any type of SIP compliant device, whether it's a hard phone, a soft phone, a mobile app. You could be doing the same exact thing. to connect to an Elastix PBX. However, I'm going to go ahead, like I said, and I'm going to use XLite. So I'm going to go ahead and type in here 201 for my extension. And for my password, I'm going to put in Forky123. And for the domain name, I'm going to go ahead and put in ippbx.nettophone.com. Oh, actually, I apologize. I'm going to put in the Elastix server for the domain. I'm sorry, I had something pre-configured here. So as you can see up here, the Elastix IP address here is 67.133.201.140. So I put in the Elastix PBX IP address, and I'm going to go ahead and click OK. And I'm going to tell it to retry. And now we can see that it became registered. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to dial my cell phone number. And as you hopefully could hear, that now the phone is actually ringing. And you should hear my ringtone of my cell phone ringing as well. And I could go ahead and pick up this call. And you'll hear two-way audio quickly. And this call connects. And now I'll hang up the call. And I will go ahead and I will dial back that virtual phone number. And now you could actually see that there's an incoming call coming back from my cell phone because I am dialing the Miami number back to this PBX, which is routing it to this extension. So as you could see, in a short amount of time, about 5-10 minutes, we were actually able to create a SIP trunk on an Elastix PBX using the PDF that we used. We created an extension. We made an outbound route for that extension to dial outbound. And we created an inbound route using the virtual phone number. And we now have a completely working PBX. If you look through Elastix, you'll see there's many other options, such as IVR queues and many other things. However, this is the basic ability of creating a SIP trunk on an Elastix PBX. So now let us go ahead and continue discussing how you could actually make money from doing this. After seeing how simple it is, I'm sure many of you are saying, well, where do I make money? So what Netone does is, like I said, we empower our resellers to go out and provide VoIP solutions to all of their customers who may be their existing customers or new customers. We give you a whole new model without investing in any hardware. You don't have to have any setup fees and no monthly fees. We basically come to you and we give you wholesale A to Z rates for all countries, and you go out and you give us back your retail rates depending on your market, how you want to sell this solution, whatever prices you want, and you make the margin of those rates. So every minute that your customer calls, you're making money off of them. You collect the money from your customer. We brand it all under your name. Your customer doesn't know that we exist, and you're able to go ahead and, like I said, make money and sell these solutions. If you want to do bucket of minutes, so let's say your market you feel will be better if you offer 1,000 minutes to one destination, 500 minutes to another destination, we could go ahead and do bucket of minutes. It doesn't have to be straight A to Z per minute calls. However, like we said, we're giving you extremely competitive rates on our top quality routes, and you're able to offer this to your customers and make them save tons of money on their calls, let them have a virtual presence in many different countries, and save on their phone bill while you have a whole new stream of revenue that you could receive from your customers. They pay you their money. You're the one who is managing the customer. You're the one who's able to have that relationship and own them. They don't know we exist. At the same time, we give you our portal so that it makes it very easy to manage the customers. So our portal includes reporting and real-time CDRs so they could see their call history. We, of course, give you the ability to monitor your accounts, create new accounts, add funds to them, add virtual phone numbers to them. We also have APIs, so if you want to put this onto your own website, you'll have that ability as well. We also give you a dedicated account manager who will help you with any issues that you may have or any training that you may need. We also have a Tier 3 customer support service, so if you run into issues with installations or any technical issues that you may not know how to handle yourself, we're available to assist you. We are your partners, so we come out and we literally give you these turnkey solutions, but we're here to help you grow your business because like we said, we're only charging you per minute. So the more the more minutes you do, the better it is for us and the better it is for you. So at this point, like I said, we're looking to work together with you. We'd like to have a working relationship with you. Obviously, every location, wherever you are, you may have a special opportunity. I'd like to hear from you. If you could, once again, reach out to us, let us know about your opportunity that you had, and we'd be glad to, discuss how you could grow SIP trunking in your market. So please feel free to, to contact me. You can reach out to sales as well as reach out to Netone, and we'd be glad to discuss and help you grow your business in SIP trunking. Thank you.